We are genetic creations, and that's something that mythology and the recent history they tell you, and they tell you in Hollywood movies and series and stuff and books and even that. We are just genetic clones, and we are not important as individuals. We are important as a community that's part of the same DNA. And we speak about Isis, Cybele, or the foundlings, or Artemis, Diana, which is the same thing. I've spoken about this before, but just want to make like a resume. So we have in the 19th century, in the 1800s, the arms of the foundling hospitals, and that goes straight in line with the orphans and the repopulation of the world, especially the United States of America, Australia, the UK, and other parts of the world, but especially the USA, which is an artificial country created in the 19th century, especially when the Statue of Liberty was put there. That's actually a symbol of repopulation and the creation of a new nation of cloned people. There's not many, so only about 1%, like the big families who control the world, they know where they come from. And even they might be clones in a way. And the big majority of us by the 1800s, that's it. We don't know where we come from. And those who actually say where they come from, they actually invented their history because they wanted to buy a name or history. They were the first ones and they wanted control over the other people. In Rome, in Italy, you have this with the bees. You have statues with the bees. It's always about the bees. You see the bees everywhere. The temple of Diana, which is in Ephesus, which is actually connected with what's written in the Bible and stuff. Again, all these things are connected. That temple is not a temple, just like the cathedrals are not cathedrals, they're power stations. This temple is a genetic factory. It's a factory that creates human beings as clones in labs with machines, with artificial intelligence, like in the movies. And not just humans, also all sorts of humanoids and genetic creation. You're going to see that. And again, the bees, there's statues and sculptures about the bees because our humanity is comparable, and they're actually saying this. The Vatican is actually saying this because nothing is hidden, everything is in plain sight. We are compared as a humanity with a bee and the beehive. So you just look at how bees reproduce and how they live, and the beehive and stuff. The bee of Artemis, Ephesian goddess. The truth is very uncomfortable for the big majority of you. And these are not testicle balls, so ball testicles, like many professors say at the university. They're not eggs. I mean, they're actually, well, they could be eggs in a way, like ovaries, right? But what this portrays is the genetic creation of humans, and this goddess, that's the primitive interpretation of what primitive people will understand when they see a genetic factory with artificial intelligence and tubes that create humans. And then you have all these humans, the new humans that come out fresh in the 19th century, and especially at the end of the 19th century, and the USA and other countries get repopulated after the cataclysm or after the reset, the final reset. And that reset, there's actually this thing from the Book of Religions, the views, and it says here, according to the Iroquois, which is like a tribe, an Indian tribe, in the third generation, there came a deluge. You see, all these tribes, they say the truth because the truth was given to them as well. So in the third generation, there came a deluge in which not a soul was saved, so that in order to repopulate or repeople the earth, repopulate, it was necessary to change beasts into men. And you're going to say, so these beasts, what are they? These are the beasts. You see, in these so-called medieval literature and books and stuff. I've shown you this before in Russia as well, in America and stuff, and the tribes have this. They were like different genetic creations, so it's nothing uncommon. Like you have a lab and a superior entity or superior humanity, they combine genes of several animals and humans and stuff, and they have all these what we call abominations. They're abominations for you and me, but for the creators, they're just experimenting to see what kind of beings they can do. I mean, in any case, if I was like part of that humanity, that superior humanity, I would probably do the same. For them, it's just a game. It's a game because you combine DNA, and when you don't like it, you just reset it with a deluge or like something else, and you create a new humanity. So they decided to actually give it an end to all this. That's what you can read in the Bible and stuff, in the Book of Enoch, that all those stories about God decided to destroy the world. And then you have these cities which were like empty. Now there's two possibilities. Either these cities were empty because that humanity was created before and they got wiped out, or these cities were created from scratch for our humanity that began in the 19th century. But it's full of these empty cities, and Also on the statues representing and the literature representing Diana or Artemis, or like the goddess of fertility and stuff, you have children faces and you have animals as well. So that means that that's actually artificial intelligence generated. Then you have these huge buildings, which again, they're power stations, but they were used for the orphans temporarily when the people were created massively to repopulate the earth, and all of a sudden you have all these orphanages. And this is a robot. This is the first advanced artificial intelligence robot presented to the public, Sophia the robot. Why? Because Sophia is actually what the name changed for Diana or Artemis in Constantinople when they built like the new like buildings in Constantinople and stuff. So they call it Sophia, and actually Sophia was the goddess of the Gnostics. In terms, if you go into history, I'm not going to go into history right now because it goes boring. But my point is, the reason why they chose the name to be Sophia for the first artificial intelligence advanced humanoid or robot for the public, and it was they gave her citizenship. So she's the first robot to be a citizen of Saudi Arabia. So the first country in the world to give citizenship to a robot is Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is the first country where these leaders gathered, saying that religion is, all the religions point to the same thing. And actually religion is actually pointing to artificial intelligence, because the Artemis or Diana, or like the temple that we've seen so far, all the statues and stuff, and the temple of Diana and all this thing with the bees points to artificial intelligence, like you see in the movies, human beings created artificially as clones in labs. I know that's too hard for the big majority of you to accept, but I'm just trying to help you see the truth beyond the doctrine. Now, I do understand that if you want to yell, scream, or cry, or hit me in the face, I don't care. Well, I'm not going to let you hit me in the face. I'm going to protect myself. But my point is that if you're not indoctrinated, and it's very easy to see these things, if you're indoctrinated, it's okay. It's all right to follow a doctrine. Just don't assume that every single human being in this world wants to be part of a boring doctrine. You get the point. So many of us want to understand and have the capacity of understanding the truth, because in the end we have this DNA in ourselves, which was left by the creators in order to understand what they're actually showing us in the first place. Now, I don't know if those same creators are like the ones who actually want us to be living like slaves for the system of money and corruption, or they just left and abandoned us and we're just like collateral damage in a place which was taken over by the same people like you and me, but who decided to be the controllers and the leaders and do what they want until the next reset. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. And remember, everything points to artificial intelligence.